Welcome to Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, we're both in LA. This is crazy.
Here we are. We're in LA. Now, what's the over-under on how many times we record in person this year? Now, we're already 3 months in, almost 4 months into the new year. How many over-under? What are you giving us?
Well, listeners will know that we are at our best when we're not together. So they're not going to be good shows. We like to do good shows. So I'm going to say like over under 2.5.
Wow, over under 2.5. Now, we also have to say there is like a distance between us. It's not like if you were next door, it probably would happen much more often.
But you're not a lot more often.
Not a lot more. You're like 30 minutes away from me. With
maybe 20. We're going to find out today, right?
It's definitely going to be 30 at the time I'm leaving for sure.
It's a bad time. Yeah.
We'll see. I was going to say like 5, because like 5 times in the next like 9 months, that's feasible.
Right? That's feasible. I think football season, we have more to talk about. There'll be more reason to get together and do live shows. Like, I can see the Thursday night opener, do a live show for that, just special events. We could have done one for the Oscars, looking back at it. I moved to LA and it's the most dramatic Oscars moment ever. The first weekend I'm here. That was crazy.
It was wild. I feel like it's over. Like the memes went out. It's like the biggest thing in the world. I don't know what else there's to say about it, except that now I see people thinking it's a conspiracy because now there's different angles coming out. Did you see the one angle from behind and looking at the stadium, the stage at Jada, like almost clapping and laughing? It was very weird. It's like another angle. It's on TikTok somewhere. So now there's a conspiracy. This might all be staged.
Well, it seemed like it may have been staged right from the beginning. We didn't know if it was even real because the Oscars, no one talks about them, and now everyone's talking about the Oscars, except why would Will put himself in that spot, and why would Chris Rock put himself in that spot if it was staged?
Listen, I'm not saying the conspiracy is correct. I'm just saying there is now a conspiracy. People are analyzing the hit, how Chris Rock leaned into it, his face. Oh, did he have something in his face to protect? All this stuff. It's getting crazy. Maybe it's just my algorithm on TikTok, but
I think it is. You have a conspiracy algorithm, which we love. We do love on this show. Yes. There was one moment where Chris Rock, when it first happened, he made a fist with his right hand and he kind of brought it back just a little bit. And he thought about hitting back. And if that would have happened, it could have gotten so much crazier than it already was. Will Smith should have never been allowed to accept that award. It's fair to say that, right?
I loved it. I'm like, I was telling Aaron, I'm like, Aaron, if he wins here, he has to go up on stage and talk about what just happened. But yeah, it was fucking wild. It seems so crazy that you want to think it was fake because there's no way a real person would do that. So yeah, I loved it.
Is everything just getting crazier? Hollywood, the war, the pandemic, like everything is just crazier than ever. And it's like just adding up and nothing's normal anymore.
Well, what's crazy is it's like, I saw the stat. Is this the craziest NFL offseason? Is this the biggest move you've ever seen ever? Like all these big names going places.
I mean, it is, but why is everything the craziest ever now? And how do we maintain this? And what's after crazy? Like the end of the world? Is that what we're leading into?
Who knows? Might be here soon. Where do you want to start? I mean, I thought the biggest thing that we didn't talk about, I mean, we didn't really talk about a lot in the last few weeks. It's been very brief. We can dig in.
I've been moving.
But did we talk about officially Al Michaels going to Thursday Night Football? Because I think that happened in the last week or two.
I don't think we had it official. We had it at 99%. So now it's official. Him and Kirk Herbstreit Thursday nights on Amazon. Listen, streaming sports is becoming a bigger thing. We see Apple TV with baseball. We see a lot of soccer on streaming. Mike, it's all happening.
Is it weird that I kind of think of it's Kirk, right? Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
His name mixed up. I feel like he's like a younger version of Al for some reason. Like they're very similar looking. I feel like they have kind of like the same rhythm of speaking in a way. I don't know. I almost feel like this is going to be I love Al, but I feel like this is going to be Monday Night Football version where it's like not as good. The flow isn't there. They're too monotone, kind of like what Steve Levy and the other guys were doing in the booth. I know Al gets excited, but he's been working with what's his name for how many years? Like 30 something years or more, or a long time.
Not that long with Collinsworth. I think it was like 15 or 20 years. Okay. And then he had some other partners at ESPN and ABC before that.
I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be as good, but I'm excited. I'm excited. You know who I'm excited for? Mike Tirico. My boy, Mike Tirico. I feel like I've been hyping him up for years, and he's finally reached it. He's there. I know he did the Olympics, but this is bigger.
The Olympics are pretty big. The thing about Michaels and Trico, you like them both, and Michaels was always in Trico's way, and now Michaels gets to go to Amazon. NBC is producing those games for Amazon, so it'll look like Amazon, but it's going to be the NBC broadcast, kind of behind the scenes, all the same crew doing it. So Al's not going far, and then Trico gets his shot with Collinsworth. I think that was so rude that you compared the new Amazon booth to the ESPN booth of Steve Levy and Louis Riddick. That's like comparing something to Quibi. Like I saw there's an article about CNN Plus. Is it the next Quibi? And it's like, that's the worst thing you can say about anything in media. And I think the worst thing you can say about any announcer is compare them to the ESPN Monday Night Football booth. Because look what they did. They knew it was so bad. They're overpaying Joe Buck and Troy Aikman so much money just so they don't have to do that with Steve Levy and Louis Riddick anymore.
Do you think that the weird thing about CNN Plus or whatever, it's going to be on HBO Max. Like they're integrating it all, right? Like Discovery Plus is going to be on there. It's basically becoming like a little Disney World almost, like where
it's not official, but that has to happen because how could it stand alone by itself?
Yes. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see what happens with Thursday night. I'm sure we'll watch some Thursday night games together this year. Maybe.
Yeah.
They start early. Yeah. It's early.
5 o'clock. I like that. I like the new times on everything. The Oscars were at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
NFL. Sunday night, Monday Night Football at 5 o'clock. That's crazy.
It's great. You're not going to bed at midnight. You're going to bed at 8 o'clock right after.
I love that. One of the guys we're likely to see in that first NFL game of the season, it could be the Bucs and the Super Bowl champion Rams right down the road here in LA because Brady's back, but Bruce Arians isn't. And I love this story for so many reasons because clearly the conspiracy theories are out on this one. Yeah. Clearly there was drama. If they get along well, there's no way Arians steps away when you have a chance to win a Super Bowl and coach Tom Brady again. I have a very juicy conspiracy I want to share, but first your initial reaction to Bruce stepping away.
Initial reaction, it almost seemed because we were listening to Bill Simmons. You sent me even that tweet that he had. What was it?
Which is bullshit. He calls himself Bill Stradamus, which of course we've been doing Sports Stradamus for 10 years. You can't just grab Stradamus and use it as your own. We've been doing that.
We own that phrase. I'm gonna go look into our trademark. I'm just gonna right off the bat. Now, didn't he retire from Arizona when he was coaching Arizona, right? It was like he had a heart attack or something, and he kind of stepped away. So my first glance was, oh, well, you know what? He's old. Maybe he doesn't want to do this anymore. Listen, if you said, I got a executive position, I no longer need to be on the field, I'm kind of old, I wasn't really into it last year, Tom's already running it anyways, maybe it's a good thing. I saw Tom Brady, say all these nice things about him on Instagram. So I didn't really dig into conspiracy, but then you kind of heard those rumblings like, well, Tom doesn't want him there. And your boy Todd Bowles, right? He's from Miami.
He's been a lot of places. He's not.
Okay. But I guess there was no immediate, this is a conspiracy. It's almost like an upgrade. Like, okay, cool. I get to be in the front office. Maybe I don't have to travel for the games. I get to sit here, do my thing, still be a part of football, still be around, and I'm stepping away. So how did you get into a conspiracy? Because I couldn't get myself there yet.
Well, I don't understand why you think it's so normal, I guess I would say. Because listen, Tom Brady retires from the Bucs. And so right away, there's a reason he's retiring. It's not just to spend more time with family. What's going on? You could say maybe he's butting heads with Bruce Arians. And
So you thought this was a power move by Tom Brady. Be like, I'm going to fucking retire. And you guys get rid of him because now you're changing regimes. And if he goes, I'll be back.
That's my first conspiracy. Correct. So Brady walks away and he doesn't come back until it's known that Bruce Arians is walking away. And then he gets that assurance. One of the Bucs insiders said, the day Brady announced he's coming back to football was the day that he found out that Bruce Arians was stepping away. So maybe, Bruce is out. All right, I'm coming back today. And he had the post ready to go. Okay. That's conspiracy number one. And he didn't want to work with Arians. He wants to work closer with Byron Leftwich or maybe even Todd Bowles, who's more of a defensive coach, but he's going to run the whole ship. Number two.
What do you think about Todd Bowles? Do we want to go into that at all?
I don't know much about Todd Bowles. I think Byron Leftwich is the guy right now. He should be the head coach instead of Todd Bowles. I don't think the Bucs defense was lighting anyone up the last couple of years.
Do you think Byron is too young to be a head coach? Isn't he like our age? Like, I swear he was a quarterback when we were in college.
We're a lot closer to coaches than players at this point.
Yeah, it's not good.
We used to see Byron. We always talk about this at happy hour in Tampa. What was that place called?
So we're definitely in the same age. McDenn's. Come on, Jeremy. You know what the place is called. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll go back this year. We're going to do Gasparilla. Yeah.
Oh, we are. Just happened, didn't it?
No, we're going to go back. We'll go next year. January.
Okay. So Byron Leftwich was rumored to be the top candidate for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They went with Doug Peterson, more experience. He could have gotten that head coaching job. So I think he is ready to lead.
I think
now,
he also, at first, I think that was a good move not to go to Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence should be good. He didn't get the Bucs job, so he's still not a head coach.
I would rather be with the Bucs to have another shot at winning a Super Bowl than go to Jacksonville and whatever that mess is. It's like you're cleaning up like a car wreck, basically. Like, oh, let's see what we can put together here.
There's a lot of franchises like that, but you're right. The conspiracy I'm most excited about is last week, and I was just keeping this quiet. I wasn't running with this. I wasn't flagging you on it, but there was a Boston reporter who was so locked into Brady going to Tampa in the first place when he was still on the Patriots. He was the one who first reported Brady is going to Tampa. He's not returning to New England. This reporter was saying last week that Brady was working on a deal to join the Miami Dolphins. And I know it sounds crazy.
I saw that. You did.
So you saw it. That's great.
You
saw it too.
But
this is the number one Boston reporter.
But Tom Brady put out a statement saying there is no talks between me and Miami.
I didn't see that statement. I don't think
is that a real statement? Or am I lying? I swear to God, I saw
conspiracy. That's not a real thing. So the idea was, and this was last week before Arians ever stepped away. And so possibly the other conspiracy is Brady had to come back to the Bucs because he's under contract. He tried to get traded to the Dolphins. They wouldn't let him. So he says, I'm coming back, but I want you to know I'm going to cause an uproar and try to demand a trade to the Dolphins, even though I'm coming back, unless Arians steps away. And it's up to you to figure out which one you want to do. And last week there was a lot of chatter. Of course, the Tyreek Hill trade gets done. So they have more weapons than ever. They have a fun head coach, Mike McDaniel, with the offensive side of the ball. Tom Brady went to Michigan. The Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, is the biggest booster at Michigan. Apparently, they were the ones who were about to meet with Brian Flores on a boat, and Brian Flores said, I'm not meeting with this star quarterback when he's under contract with a division rival. I'm stepping away. Of course, there's a lot of drama there with Ross and Flores. So it just goes deep with Miami and Michigan and the whole situation. So I think one way or the other, Tom Brady forced Arians out of the head coaching position.
So, okay, let's believe that conspiracy is real. He's still there. He's still high level making decisions for the company, unless it's just like a fluff job. Like, we'll put you here because we got nowhere else to put you.
I was listening to Colin Cowherd earlier today. He said Bruce Arians loves to coach football and loves to drink. And I think he'd rather go drink than work in the front office and not as a head coach. He's 60 some years old. He's been through it all. We already know, like you said, last year, he wasn't around as much. He was letting Byron Leftwich do game plans with Brady. He's not going to bust his ass in the front office. He's not going to work very hard, if at all. He's been removed as a head coach, and this was a glamorous landing position for him.
Which was a nice way to do it. Instead of saying you're fired, let's put you somewhere else. You still got a good head on your shoulders. We'll figure it out.
He said today in his press conference, I don't even know what my title is in the front office, but it sounds pretty nice. So he's clueless himself.
So if we dig the conspiracy deeper, does that mean next year, or is there a possibility? How old is Brady right now? 43, 44, somewhere around there?
Something like that.
Do we have a conspiracy that says Brady leaves next year, goes to Miami, and plays for the Dolphins? Because what is the drive to play in Miami? Because that's what I didn't understand. I was like, okay, well, they got Tyreek, they got Waddle, they got all these guys, but does it really? What else is like? I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. Like, is there a passionate drive? Like, why does he want to live in Miami? He's living in Tampa, just as good. You're in Florida weather. Right.
I'll tell you, it's great. So one is Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner. I'm so glad you asked the question. One is playing for the old Michigan man, and that's a great thing for Brady. But more importantly, a lot of people think Stephen Ross will lose the team due to the Brian Flores situation. The way the lawsuit is playing out, and he may be removed as the owner. He may have to sell the team. What if Tom Brady was able to buy the Dolphins and play as quarterback and be the first ever in pro sports? It's something Brady's never done. And you can't say many things for what Brady's never done. He's done everything in the NFL. He'd be the owner and the quarterback. He's making the roster moves, and he's throwing the ball around on Sundays. And that's his full-time job. It's all year round at that point.
So Miami's already owned by like partial owners, right? Like, isn't Serena and like
there's a few celebrity owners that have small percentages.
Yes, the small percentage. This would be great. I love that idea. I love that conspiracy. I'm so much more on board on that one. He's the first owner player.
I answered your question. You're like, why would he do it? Well, that's something he's never done. What else has he never done? Name something he's never done.
Will he be the oldest quarterback to play this year ever?
There's been some backups in their 40s. I don't know if they've played 16 games. I don't know if they stayed healthy. I don't know if they made playoffs. He might be. We're not a fact-based show. We're a rumor-based show.
Of course. course. Yeah. I don't really have much else. I have like BDE right now. You want to go do some big dick energy?
Yeah.
I got some big dick energy. I wasn't sure, but you know what? I was thinking about it, and my big dick energy is going to Antonio Brown. He's like, I'm not getting ankle surgery unless the team signs me. This man has so much big dick energy. He just does not care. He's like, sign me and I will go get my ankle fixed. I'm going to do this. I will leave a team if I want to leave a team. He's just putting out some big dick energy, and I'm giving it to him for this offseason. He's out there. He's trying to sell himself. He is the reincarnation of Ocho Cinco in a way, but better.
Oof, Ocho Cinco might not like that. Last time we saw Antonio Brown, he was doing a weird move toward Jets fans leaving the Bucks field in the middle of a game shirtless. So you giving him any award right now is definitely questionable, I think.
Big dick energy. Listen, you have to have a lot of big dick energy to go around saying like, why are all these players like, did you see the thing that came out today? It was like a little quote, like, why are all these players getting paid so much? Like, I'm just as good and I'll get ankle surgery when it's like when it needs to be. Like, all right, cool. Like, sure, somebody might hire you. I don't know.
He has a lot of money to pay for surgery. I'm sure he has health insurance in some way. He can get the surgery now. I'm not sure if you need the surgery, do you want to live your life with a bad ankle if no team signs him? Because I'm not sure he's going to play again in the NFL. Are you confident he's going to end up somewhere?
I think there are a lot of desperate teams. Like, I can't name a receiver on the Texans. I can't name a receiver on the Falcons anymore. I can't name a receiver on the Jets.
Calvin Ridley is not on the Falcons. He's suspended.
I can't name a receiver on the Browns. Right? The Browns don't have anybody.
Amari Cooper. They
I forgot they got
for
him.
Deshaun. For Deshaun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Amari Cooper. Yeah. He's really good. He's actually got even worse. He has like plantar fasciitis or something, which he can play a few games, but every season it flares up and then he's out of the few games. So good for him.
And he still makes so much money. He makes $20 million a year for that.
That's crazy. Who else doesn't have? I mean, there's so many teams. So somebody would be glad to take him on, and we'll see what happens. But do we want to talk about Tyreek? Because I think all this happened last week and we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I want to talk about Tyreek. It was shocking for me. And there's this trend that we talked about during the Devontae Adams and the Deshaun Watson trades the week before, where now what we're seeing is star players are being traded. And they're being traded for a lot of draft picks, which is great. And that's normal. But they're also being rewarded with like massive contracts. And it's a crazy combination. I think it's very dangerous for the NFL when you're talking about teams giving up tons of draft capital, which the Dolphins did, the Raiders did for Adams, obviously. I'm getting a call here, so I lost you on my screen. Are you still there? All right, you're still there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that do you think, since the Rams proved this right, draft capital doesn't mean as much? Maybe a first round means something, but once you get the second and third, it's like, I don't even know what the chances are of you finding a player that's going to stay in your team longer than 5 years. I imagine it's less than 15% of somebody staying on your team, right? They're probably having turnovers, trading people. Every 5 years, you got to think about they're moving people around. I just don't think – I think right now we're in a time where everybody's like, well, let's just get those star players because they're proven and we can do something. Because now they have what? Miami has two of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL.
They're dynamic. And that's the saying that the Rams did. F them picks, right? F them picks because the Rams won it without it. But the salary cap and the money means something too. And so the Dolphins that take on this salary of Tyreek, he's 28. I don't think you get faster when you're 28. Your fastest days are probably behind you when you're 28. Yeah. And so that's a concern. And so he's under contract for 4 more years and you give up the first and second round pick. What if he has one good year and then he sucks and you're paying him $25 million a year and it's guaranteed? And Devontae Adams could be the same. He's in his 30s. His best days are behind him. What if Aaron Rodgers made Devontae Adams what he is? We don't know how he's going to do with Derek Carr as much as he loved to play with Derek Carr.
Yeah, he does look like he wants to play with him. But don't you think it's the same thing with, like, listen, Tua's down there. Tua is not the guy that they need thrown to those guys. So I don't know if this is going to help him. And I see it as like, oh, we're committing to Tua. We want to build around Tua. We want Tua to be great. Here are 2 great wide receivers. How can you go wrong? I don't know what Tua's stats were last year. I mean, I can look it up. I'm sure he threw a lot of interceptions. And I'm sure he'll throw a lot more because now he got really – no, he didn't throw a lot of interceptions.
He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He just doesn't play a lot. When he plays, he throws the ball 4 yards and they get to 3rd and 2 and then they get the first down and they have these long drives. It's like me and Madden. But he doesn't play much because he gets hurt and he doesn't throw the ball downfield. So how's he going to find Tyreek deep like Mahomes always did? I have no idea.
I don't know. All this doesn't make sense. I'm going to have a really hard time gambling on football this season. I'm gonna have a hard time drafting in our league if I ever go through with eating 24 pancakes. That's gonna be tough.
You're supposed to do that in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to Phoenix, but I'm drafting from my sofa.
The agents, the power agents, they say the moves are not done. The crazy moves are not done yet. And so there's more to come. Is it Baker Mayfield being shipped somewhere?
That's
Is it Tom Brady going to the Dolphins after all? There might be more to happen.
Did you see that story about how a team wanted a draft pick and Baker Mayfield, like in return for taking on Baker? Like they wanted more.
But that's the whole. Remember, Brock Osweiler was traded for that one time when the only way the Texans accepted him was with a draft pick. Also,
yeah. I don't know. I think it's I don't know what the Seahawks are doing right now. They just got rid of Bobby Wagner. He went to the Rams. The Seahawks are done. The Seahawks, as I know them from winning Super Bowls and the Russell Wilson days, are officially over. There is no one left. It is now DK's team.
I hope all of your memories of Seattle are erased from your mind, if you know what I mean, Mike. Because listen, all those great players, they're gone. You're right. And Bobby Wagner joining the Rams, so that's not cool. The way they cut him, then he goes to the Rams. You think he's giving the entire defensive playbook to the Rams on day one? Yeah, he is, and that's an issue for the Seahawks. We talked about this. I don't know why Pete Carroll's there for a rebuild with that roster. They're looking at 4-13. And there's no reason for him to stick around. He's rich. Go live on the beach in Hawaii. Why do this again with some rookie quarterback? I was actually beginning my mock draft prep, and they got the 9th pick. Yeah, you're right.
Are you going to put it on the website again?
Of course, it's for us. It's content, Mike. So they had the 9th pick in the draft. They got it in the Russell Wilson trade from the Broncos. Will a quarterback fall to 9 that they want? Will they have a rookie quarterback? Will Pete Carroll go through a rookie and take 2 or 3 years until he's anywhere close to Russell Wilson's status? I just don't get it at all. Something doesn't make sense. And look out for a veteran going to Seattle because right now they don't have anyone except Drew Lock.
So what do you do? I mean, right now they're saying, okay, Drew Lock's our starter at this point, right? Maybe they'll get a rookie, but like maybe the rookie's not going to start. They're going to they're basically trying to redo what they found in Russell, right? Draft somebody. He's going to take over as the starter. That's what happened, 10 years ago when he was there. I just don't know what they do because they're releasing everybody. So if they're going to start fresh, they might as well just get rid of trade DK, trade Tyler Lockett. Like you don't need these guys if you're just going to start over. Like use that draft capital, go get 1st-round picks. So I don't know. I don't know what.
Look at the prominent teams with prominent quarterbacks that now need receivers. It's the Packers and the Chiefs. They traded away Tyreek and Devontae Adams. They both have a need for DK. Are they not going to offer multiple 1st-round picks and a new contract for DK Metcalf, just like they did when they traded away Tyreek and Adams? So I'd look out for that. I think Rodgers and Mahomes really want non-rookie receivers, and they're both looking at brand new 22-year-old receivers if they don't make a trade for DK.
So what are we looking at the bottom 5 teams? Are we going to say Seattle, Steelers, Jets, Panthers, Texans? That's bottom 5?
I actually love that list. The Jets and Texans are always on it until otherwise. The AFC is so loaded with quarterbacks. We talked about this recently too, and the Steelers are one of those teams that don't have one, and that brings us great joy, of course. Sorry, Big Lou. I know you're in retirement, but you might have to make some plans on Sundays by November and December because it might not be worth watching by then. Mitch Trubisky's gonna bum you out like he did for the Bears fans. I think the Steelers are in the bottom 5. Who else did you say? The Seahawks? Yes. The Panthers, what are they doing? They've lost the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. They're kind of in the abyss. We don't know what's next for the Panthers, and the Falcons are in the same boat because they butchered the Watson situation so bad they had to give up Matt Ryan. I don't know if we talked about that, but like sucks for them that they went all in for Watson. They had Matt Ryan right there. They didn't get Watson, and then they had to get rid of Matt Ryan, and now they have Marcus Mariota, who's even.
Well, let's talk about that one. Does that even make sense for the Colts? Because it seems like the Colts just kind of like trying these quarterbacks out and seeing what's going on. Like, oh yeah, Carson Wentz. Let's try Phillip Rivers. Yeah, let's see what's going on. This doesn't make any sense to me. Like they should have just drafted somebody and just started fresh.
In their defense, it's not their fault. Andrew Luck said F this and left like in training camp. Like that's not their fault. And so they were caught in this position where they thought they had a long-term answer at quarterback, the most important position, and they didn't have it after all. So then they went the Rivers route and then Wentz. And you're right. Now it's like 3 years in a row. Are you still not working on a plan for the future? You're still going 1 year at a time. Wentz was terrible. The owner, Irsay, kind of bashed Wentz on the way out of town. I was kind of surprised by that, but it was kind of juicy. He's like, we just knew we had to make a change as quick as possible at quarterback. It's like, what happened there? I know he was unvaccinated, but what else happened?
Where did Wentz go? Did he go somewhere?
He went to Washington.
I forgot them. They should be on the list too. I mean, they
got one now.
Well, it's like, all right, so It's
The
I forgot
Giants are
about the
terrible. The
Giants.
Giants are
Oh my
terrible.
God, there's gonna be so many bad
They're
teams.
doing Daniel Jones again. They're doing
Oh,
it again.
we need to go to Vegas and just lay some money down on the over-unders on wins. I think we'll win a lot of money.
There's some easy ones we've covered so far.
Yes. That's all I got. You want to do dinner? I'll be over there in 30 minutes.
Wow, it's a new era. I just want to mention
Yeah.
it's Masters Week next week. You know, it's one of my
Ooh.
favorite weeks of the year.
gotta
The
gamble.
azaleas are blooming in Augusta. We're going to gamble. Maybe we'll do a little Masters Sunday watch party if you're around.
Ooh.
This is big because the course is so beautiful. So I want everyone to check it out next week. You were at Pebble Beach recently. Maybe you have a new appreciation for golf courses.
No, the food was very expensive. Beautiful views, but you know what? I have a little problem with golf courses. I feel like they should be like open to the public so I can just walk around because it's very nice and the only way on is very expensive to get on.
That's another TikTok theory that you are watching on your TikTok,
Yes.
and you're getting all the progressives want golf courses out and public parks, which in Scotland, by the way, all the beautiful golf courses like St. Andrews, most beautiful golf course in Scotland, the most famous. On Sundays, the course is closed, public park. Bring your dog, bring your strollers. It's all for
That
the
sounds
community
beautiful.
on
Doesn't it sound
Sundays.
great? Like just going to stroll on a beautiful golf course on the coast. It's great.
And that's one day a week. The other 6 is okay for golf, right?
That's fine. Yeah, just give us one day. I'm not asking for like the whole entire week or anything like that.
Malcolm Gladwell did that across LA because there's all these nice courses. You can't even see into them. They build these hedges and the fences. You don't even know they exist, yet they're right amongst you, and you can never see them and never know what's behind them.
The issue that podcast was talking about, they were talking about they're still paying taxes from like the 1930s because somehow they figured out a way to gift the property. So whatever they bought that for $100 back in the 1930s, they're not paying what it should be worth, probably like $500,000, not $500,000, probably like $500 million.
That's how rich people stay rich.
That's how they do it. So good for them. But
there you go. But none of this is related to the Masters, which you should watch next week. We're excited, and maybe we'll get a show out before that and get some picks in.
Yeah, we gotta do some gambling shows next week, so we got to do that for sure because I want to gamble on it this year. Right, I feel like one year we almost won it. You were very close.
Was that the Bryson year? Maybe someone else.
I don't know. I think he came in second when he was like, I don't know. Maybe it was the Garcia guy or the or that one blonde guy. I don't know who it was. One of those.
Oh, Will Zalatoris. He was a weird looking dude, and you had to watch the weird face guy all weekend. He almost won.
Yeah,
big underdog.
That was good.
Inside info. Look out tomorrow, Friday, April 1st. Tiger Woods might announce he will play the Masters.
Any shot that he competes at all at a high level?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So just more of like just to be there.
He almost died, Mike.
I know, Jeremy. I remember the story. All right. Check out thesportshangover.com. All right. See you.